These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the Swiss stage of Worlds 2024.
And we'll have to see how they're going to try and play that one out.
That was an interesting cover. They were kind of expecting a little delayed invade there.
Oh, Mickey, Kerry is there. Mickey tries to dredge line away. The charm moots him in place, and I don't think Mickey needs to burn the flash here. He knows he's done for. First blood to T1.
And I really think G2 actually had the slight read on this. They thought that there was going to be a delayed invade. That's why Broken Blade actually hovered over by Raptor camp.
Didn't burn anything again, and the gank is low HP.
And it's a really nice job here in the early stages from Yike. He gets the top crab, immediately move bot, gets bot one, covers there on the mid play for Caps 2. And now you're in a position where you've a bit of a nice 8 CS lead for yourself.
Zenith played in. Kerry's going to have to flash away Hans Summer. One more adoration for Hans Summer on his Draven.
Draven cashes in! Even though Mickey went down in the level 1, Hans Sama gets paid here. Immediately. Duo lane going up towards the top side. Broken Blade wants to try and push a little bit further.
I mean, Zeus has flash, has the explosive cast. Hans has both his summoners as well, but Hans Summer continues to put axes into the back of Zeus. The cleanse away from Hans flashes forward. Zeus flashes away, will get the slow with the cask. Hans now in the middle of the minions, doesn't have a ward to place. Zeus can open up and Zeus finds it. A solo kill for the Gragas. Meanwhile, in the top lane, a hook's gonna land onto Ona. Broken Blade looking for the stun, root goes down. As Yike, Mickey, and Broken Blade disengage.
Love that play from Zeus. He lures Hans Sama in.
Although he burned his flash and his cleanse, Gumayushi had to do the same on the other side of the map. So it's not just he's expended his resources with nothing happening to his enemy AD carry.
I think the play on towards the top side though really helped out G2 obviously because they do force T1 away, which then gives them Void Grubs. Traditionally when we see the AD carry swap and you don't move, a good read from both Carry and G2, spotting that Carry was up there. Broken Blade now trying to force Owner away, but I think it's more of a bluff than anything else. I don't think you want to over-aggress onto that as Cap's completely out of man in the mid lane and you had it's a little bit.
G2 will start up the grubs. T1 are looking for a Barney. They're looking for a fight here. Mickey looking for that hook. Owner stepping forward, eats an axe. Caps and Mickey standing around the side. Caps low mana. They go into Carrier. Paranoia. There's the shockwave as well. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Broken Blade's going to look to try and keep Zeus around. One already over as Yike kills off Carrier. Owner's killed Caps though. And now Yike has to run from Baker and Gumayushi. Owner so low in the pit. He gets two. Hans Summer will answer with one. Cleanses away, but he's not going to be able to get too much more here. He can get a second. Gumayushi able to win out the fight in the end. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, much ado about nothing.
Oh man, it seems like Carrier is getting blown up so far. The initiation onto him gets him so low that then Yike is able to ult into the backline, take out him, and they did get one of the grubs.
He can be focused down by Faker and Gumayushi, and Mickey's just trying his damnedest to help out Hans to a little bit, but it's still Gumayushi who's able to clean up at the back end.
Now has the Bloodthirster complete as G2 have set up towards the top side, TPing away from bot as well. Broken Blade giving up the ghost on that tower. Zeus going to get hooked in here. Still has the explosive cast and the flash. It's more Mickey acting as a distraction as G2 try and rattle their way through this tower. They'll take the second turret of the game, and they continue to push forward here. 5 grubs helping them out quite a lot in taking these towers quickly.
And the price, of course, that they are going to pay is not only the push on the opposite side, but the Dragon number 2 here for T1, which Owner's able to clean up. Faker does not have teleport.
Already used. Zeus caught out with a counter-strike though, and Zeus is met with the whirling death. The curtains open, Hans Summer's so low, but Broken Blade can tank that up well enough as G2 managed to escape with a kill. As well though, like 14.5 minutes in, the gold within 100. The difference between the lanes is, well, top side is winning for T1 and bot side is winning for G2. T1 do have those 2 Drakes in their pocket as Owner secures the Rift Herald as well. There's a possibility of a dive in the bot lane, but diving a Gragas is a very tricky affair. So I saw this not work out for DK yesterday. We'll see if T1 have a better affair as there's to suppress immediately. They lock them in. The shotgun coming out as well as Broken Blade tries to survive. The tower will dive, but Caps is low. Faker diving forward, the paranoia on him, and Mickey's going to be the first to fall. G2 all hail the retreat. Try to get the hell out of here because T1 are hungry for blood. Baker will find another as T1 find 2 in the bot lane die.
T1 read G2 perfectly.
He has pulled out here. Looks like he's going to even further improve on his win rate with this champion with how he's playing. He's just been
TP behind. Faker doesn't have flash, doesn't have Spirit Rush. Carrier's going to try and keep Cabs busy. Ona comes across the wall with the edge of Idgestyle. Will get himself to the blast cone in time. Faker's still trying to retreat down towards the bottom side, but he'll get out as well. And all the meanwhile, Zeus just TPs the top lane and takes another tower.
I think the next thing you have to look to for G2 is you're really worried about your mid tower, since T1 have the Rift Herald in their pocket.
Yep.
So a lot of territory to work with now. And if Yike can get one more level, you actually get a nice range boost on your ultimate, but
Solar Flare. Yike puts up the Shroud. In goes the Stinger, and down onto the backline goes Yike, looking for that paranoia. Mickey knocked in as well. Gumayushi has to flash away. The Whirling Death coming out from Hansama, and Faker's on the flank. Carrier chased out by Broken Blade. There'll be one. Faker trying to get onto Hansama as well. Lands the charm. Ona's there to help. The cleanse from Hans is not enough. And now it's a 3v4. T1 advancing again. Gumayushi was able to escape. Faker has another Spirit Rush. The charm goes wide. Yike and Caps alongside Broken Blade able to keep on to their lives right now. Zeus, though, can look for more. Broken Blade stepping forward into the darkness. Rift Herald pushed in the mid lane. That's going to take the tower, and it's only a Chem Drake. The T1 really care too much about it. G2 realize they can't fight around it anymore. And
Flash over the wall, but T1, these team fights consistently going their way.
and this one, yeah, Faker's build not only is it very burst heavy, but it's also very far ahead. Oh, never mind.
Into the shockwave, they look for Gumayushi. He doesn't have the flash, and they will find him. Another hook's going to land onto Ona as the chase continues. Zeus coming in with the explosive cast, though, and G2 have to be careful because TP coming in from Faker. Mickey dodges away from the explosive cast, pulls Carrier in. The charm goes wide. Unsummer still cleanses just in case.
Carries. Even the 2 items just can be completed for Caps means he's quite dangerous when it comes to that Nocturne Orianna combo.
Solar Flare onto Caps. Faker going in with the charm, only hits onto Mickey. Cut and Call coming out as well. There's the Impale, and Mickey's just dragged in a double counter strike into the shockwave though, and Faker is down. Explosive cast will separate Caps and Hansama from the fight. Zeus on that front line, 3 items strong, and he's trying to use them to their full effect. Ona down to about half HP. Zeus low as well. Hansama trying to open up on Gumayushi, who still has the flash. In the end, a support for mid lane trade.
To fight this.
G2 with no ultimates. Broken Blade dashing in here, jumping across that wall. Ona they're trying to smite the Drake, would be soul for them. Counter-strike from Broken Blade. Here comes Zeus. Flash, Zenith Blade. They look for the engage onto Hansama, who has to flash away himself. Caps is down to half HP. Broken Blade jumps across the pit. And now Mickey's here to bolster the defenses. Faker on his way back doesn't have the teleport. The Drake secured Chem Soul. Now for T1, G2 begin to back away from the fight, realize they don't really want any more of this action. Yike slowed up though, a hook goes down, only onto Ona. Caps knocked back! Zeus finds him! And now Yike's running for the hills, locked up with a captive audience. Yike down 2. It's a Baron on the cards for T1.
G2 took the most dangerous route out of that fight, and T1 were happy to collapse.
There's a little bit of vision here for G2, that ward just outside of the pit, giving them a sense of what's going on inside it. Broken Blade looking for the flank. No flash on him, but does have that Grandmaster's Might. Mickey looking for the engage, but realizes pretty sharpish that he can't go for it. Still charmed up. Spirit Rush forward by Faker. There's the curtain calls as well, and it's curtains for Mickey. Carrier takes him. And T1 take the Baron. They are in firm control of the game as Hansama's overstepped 2. Hansama's down 2. T1 6k ahead, a soul, a Baron, and maybe more of his Broken Blade's charmed. And T1 continue to collapse. The jump away from Broken Blade will keep them safe for a moment, but T1 are knocking on the door.
Dude, Zeus is just the GOAT. He's
MVP, holy moly.
He is such a playmaker. You think of the God of Lightning with him, but, you know, God of the Kegs in this game. Really, really impressive. Game number 1 here so far for T1, and after the Baron push, already taking mid inhibitor, they have so much money to spend.
Very small window there to engage. They did have a little bit of vision. A TP coming in. Zeus will be the one on the front line, Faker will be the one on the back, but Zeus immediately locked up. You can see how much damage he can tank. Faker going in with the charm, it goes wide. Zeus almost falls to the Whirling Death, and he still has the locket. Faker dodges away from the hook, Zeus going back in, and there's your contribution. Mickey falls, the shockwave from Caps. All it can do is buy him a second to wait. The flash charm from Faker. It's all done, it's all over, but the Nexus falling. T1 are gonna go 1-0 up.
Zeus can do no wrong. TP's in to what should have been his death, but instead it's T1 killing G2 and taking game number 1.
T1 may have limped through summer, but this is Worlds, and they are here to stay.
Broken Blade and Yike trying to do anything, but they still have the Impale, the suppression afterwards with the Edge of Ishtar, the chase onto Yike, the explosive cask, and as you say, Zeus godly with his placements today. The Nexus towers fall, and T1 will go 1 game away from Paris and quarterfinals. Mickey gets a kill.
worth.
This time around, T1 do not have the Gragas cast to disrupt G2, and they are still going to be vulnerable to these Orianna Nocturne combinations that now even have a bit better of follow-up with Kai'Sa on the team.
To try and push out that wave. G2 brought Hans and Mickey into mid to try and get the shove there as well. The problem for G2 is if they do look for an engage, Zeus still has the TP where Caps does not. So this could very quickly turn into a 5v4. Broken Blade very low on rage as well, starting to build it up as he jumps onto Ona. He's only a third of the way there so far. Ona going lower though, Dustbringer coming out, double flash as Mickey looked for the flash hook. Meanwhile in the bot lane, Caps trading up with Zeus. Carrier going back in, Faker with the Spirit Rush, has 2 charges left. G2 need to get away because Faker can look for another Spirit Rush, another Orb of Deception. Won't find too much more. G2 start up the grubs. They're quite hurt though. Half HP on Yike. Broken Blade building up towards that Mega, looking for an arm into the wall if anyone advances through that choke point.
I love G2's calls there, playing for damage. You saw Caps down here actually poking out Zeus, and then immediately jumping on the 2 separated in river to just play for some health bars to be able to get yourselves the objectives first. The small chunks in damage allow them the opening.
Just one of the best League of Legends we can see. T1 here will be able to get the Drake. G2 really shouldn't fight this because Broken Blade TP'd up to the top lane only a few moments ago. If they try to invest, obviously Zeus can join the battle and they would be at a numbers disadvantage again. They won't battle against it. See Yike just hovering Hansama and Mickey in case anything does happen, but with Guma and Carrier backing away.
Grubs are rough, but it looks like they're just going to shift Faker up towards that top side. I wasn't sure if they just went all in on trying to burn that flash, but Mickey...
Oh, Faker goes in with the Spirit Rush, the Charm landing as well, and Mickey is done for. First blood in the first 2 games. Mickey dies, Ona takes the kill.
You've now burnt both Faker's ult and Owner's ult right before the Void Grub spawns, so I'm not going to say it was a planned good death, but could actually work out as a decent death here for G2 when they do actually go to try and contest on towards those next round of Void Grubs.
It's interesting because Broken Blade doesn't have teleport, but Owner's actually heading towards Broken Blade rather than the Void Grubs.
Yeah, he's looking for this play down towards the bottom side. Broken Blade flashes immediately met with a fist in his face. Broken Blade trying to get away from this. Obviously, has to try and escape from Ona, who flashes forward. Another Bolt Breaker. Broken Blade trying to dodge it. Ona holds it forever. Ona finds another as Broken Blade can't escape his clutches.
There was no escape there. Owner waiting over the wall. Broken Blade tried to sidestep it, but good call from Owner, just hold on. But still on the opposite side, Void Grubs galore. And it will be, I imagine Zeus starting to put a bit of pressure here to answer for some of the turret places. Faker, no way he catches Mickey again.
You put everyone on pause when you said that. Everyone's like...
Oh, Mickey looking for the hook here. So Yike can come in with the paranoia. There's the depth charge as well to chase forward. Kerry has joined his mid laner. Faker flashes away. The ignite ticking on him won't be enough. There's the stun into the shield of the Wraith. Daybreak into the solar flare into the death of Yike. Rob, your no was heard around Europe. They were so close, but they just couldn't quite find the damage to kill off Faker.
So good vision toggle by the observers.
And then the engage comes through from Mickey, and it's a nice setup. Carry here to try and help, but oh, bot side.
Oh, Zeus flashes away. He's hit with a house. And Caps and Broken Blade find a kill. Carrier's looking to collapse here as well as Gumayushi, but this tower is already quite low, down to 1 plate remaining on it. Carrier going in with the Zenith Blade. Gumayushi there with the Deadly Flourish as well. Broken Blade still pretty tanky though. Yike's here to join the fray. Has the paranoia. Can't go into Guma, but there's a flash and a barrier on that AD carry, making it a little bit more suspect to go for the dive. Mickey and Hansama are starting to collapse, and this will be first tower over to G2.
Faker even dropped off that top tower, trying to move down to see if he can cover the mid lane, so then G2 can't always just push in towards mid as well. But G2 are on the bot side. Zeus TP's top to get the top turret as well. A huge amount of this go back and forth thanks to these plays.
Still, I think it's a hugely beneficial kind of response from G2 because they get their bonus first turret.
No big surprises there. Broken Blade trying to hide in the top lane. He's going to TP away. Will he escape? You can see it on the minimap. The Counter-Strike finds him alongside the cease and desist, and Broken Blade doesn't have a hope in hell of escaping this one. Zeus leaps on his base and takes another 4-1 now to T1.
It's interesting that they have such a bounty on Broken Blade's head, it feels like. Not in a literal sense, but they've got a target on his back. T1 keep on going for these assassination attempts onto Broken Blade. It's almost like when they gave up the 6 grubs, they were saying, you are not going to have a split pusher that can use these. We're going to make sure of it because while we did give up the 6 grub buff, you know, we killed Broken Blade when we did that, and then we're going to keep looking for kills on him and try and really put that Gnar behind to the point that Zeus is going to be able to control side lanes. Faker is going to be able to
Another
get
charm
hits.
hits once again. Mickey thought he was safe in his own jungle, but there is nowhere safe from T1. And this is the moment in the game, in game 1, where we saw T1 begin to explode it away from G2's grasp. You can see already 2,500 gold ahead. Now with the Rift Herald charging through mid, they're going to open up the map and make it so much more tricky for G2 to do anything. Charm wide there by Faker, but he's just creating space. The Solar Flare hits. Hansama has to burn the cleanse, and Zeus is on the flank. The counter strike. Hansama flashes it. Rift Herald charge forward. Zona can jump across that wall and look for Hansama. Yike with a fear, only onto Zeus. They're looking for the damage. The Shockwave will find him. Hansama surviving up towards the top side for as long as he can in the face of Ona, but now he's down and Carry is down alongside him. G2 find 2. They lose their mid-tier 1. Can they find anything more? I think
And that's where exactly where you want it. The big shockwave plays are going to be the ones that you need to try and leverage yourself back into this game. You have the Nocturne delivery. We'll see if they're able to make something. It won't be now because, of course, they're splitting and trying to grab tower first.
I think it still will be a little tough for G2 though, because Caps has gone for this more defensive build. Up and in towards the Zhonya's first means he doesn't really have that big firepower. I think it's the correct way to go because there's a lot of threat here with the dive from Owner and Faker and even Kerry being able to follow up, but it does mean that you just lack that oomph in your ultimate for this Orianna.
At the moment, T1 in control of the game, about 3,000 gold ahead. A Drake Capice means there's no soul point soon, but we see Caps pushing in the top lane and the TP behind. Zeus on the collapse, has the flash. Caps goes one way, Zeus goes the other. Now he tracks back, knowing that Caps is there. The paranoia coming out as Mickey and Yike look to collapse. A flash away from the shockwave from Zeus is gorgeous. And once again, Zeus in this series puts G2 in their place.
So they definitely have some really good looks here.
BB's just finished his Mega now and he's gone in.
He still gets the Gnar into the wall. The backline, Gumayushi flashes away. The shockwave, I think, maybe a little bit early there as Broken Blade is forced low. Spirit Rush forward by Faker as T1 begin to collapse. And Mickey's burst on the menu again. Faker with a Spirit Rush across the wall, looking for Yike. No curtain call connects, and G2 are able to walk away.
Great target selection from T1. They see that Broken Blade is about to go mini-Gnar.
Just massive from T1. As you say, that flash timing from Gumayushi, absolutely perfect. They're looking for the third Drake. Onan will go back towards it. They were just kind of checking to make sure that G2 hadn't snuck towards the Baron to try and take that away, while T1 were getting themselves to 2 dragons in this game.
Timing really has been the biggest advantage for T1. I feel like not only the defensive kind of timing there with the flash, but also they never hesitate on their engages.
So I think it's more, as you can see, like losing side lane turrets for investing on that bottom side. And again, T1 playing off wave states excellently, pushing mid, catching out G2, and now G2 trying to move in mid, but they could get collapsed on from behind.
There's a pincer movement brewing here.
Teleport.
See the TP behind, that's
Faker.
Faker. Counter TP being used by Broken Blade. Curtain Call coming in as the stopwatch is used. Dion onto the backline, jumps Gumayushi, a good shockwave as well onto Zeus. And now we see Hansama having to try and get away from this. Owner going in as he puts the damage down onto Caps. Owner flashing away, Zeus the same, the killer instinct from Hansama. Gets Zeus in response, now Faker diving around the fight, a hook coming out. Broken Blade trying to get into the Mega Gnar. He'll jump on their heads. Gooba stopped them, Faker escaping. Carrier slammed into the wall. On the top side, Yike killed off Gumayushi. And G2 somehow find a fight.
Only Faker gets out alive. G2 are going to get some extra money with the tower mid, and Faker just barely does so. Broken Blade hunting for him, but he's not going to find the hiding spot. G2 strike back.
Paranoia to get that little bit of extra vision. I love the not using the shockwave, but immediately they do. Paranoia in, Faker down, Solar Flare onto the backline as well. We see Hansama falling forward. Mickey trying to get into this fight. Broken Blade on his way across as well. Carrier, Owner there as well with Gumayushi trying to get away. Doesn't have the flash. Owner doesn't. Carrier goes back in with the Zenith Blade. He's a sacrifice. A sacrificial lamb for G2. As there's 2 more on the board for them.
Keep the pace up. G2, they do not let you rest. Are forced to make a decision here. Is it going to be a dangerous face check, or are they going to try and get control of the mid wave first?
Mickey looking for the hook. There's the charm. Deadly Flush going in. Owner looking for that backline. The Solar Flare hits 2. Paranoia coming out. Owner can't go in with the engage. Zeus now locked out. Pops the stopwatch to buy himself a little bit of time. He's feared though. The shockwave hits onto Owner as he looks for the engage. goes in with a cease and desist. The Guardian Angel still sitting on Ona's shoulders, will bring him back to life. Broken Blade with a good double arm into the wall. Ona trying to get back in with that shield from the Vault Breaker, but he will fall. Baker can't escape Broken Blade. Gumayushi now trying to dance his way away, but the eyes are on carrier for G2. They're looking for one more. Gumayushi will have the fleet, will have the move speed from this Jhin. Broken Blade chucks a house out, can't quite land it onto Guma's back. Caps with the dissonance, there's the slow from the red buff. They dodge the captive audience, and Guma's down 2. An ace for G2.
Be a G2 Baron.
Now, you said it in game 1, Kobe. G2 great at fighting from behind, and here we see them coming to life in Berlin, looking to get themselves to 1-on-1 against T1 in this quarterfinals qualification match.
For that big shockwave as well. And it's after that, again, just moving back, buying space here as BB using that ultimate.
Formation of the Gnar as well. Now with the Baron buff, they can get so many rewards. Tier 2 tower doesn't stand a chance. That's another 800 gold for the team, immediately picked up. Void Mites from their 6 Void Grubs spotting out.
Faker being forced back to the fountain, has the flash, has the TP, but G2 are trying to open up the base. Ona looking for that flank. His GA not back off cooldown yet, about half the way forward. Inhibitor tower and inhibitor for G2 in the top lane. They take a gold lead for the first time in what feels like the series, at least in the last 30 minutes or so.
Is in this top side trying to shove in. They sent Ari to try and help him out, so looking to go for that cross map. Just G2 though, dropping, only playing off of 2 waves. Now the reset comes through for Broken Blade. He has no TP, so T1 maybe looking for the TP ward that's right in behind them.
So much threat. So we'll see here. You even have another stasis built by Hansama. It's just so durable for G2. They're just bullying them.
Solar Flare, Hansama dodges, only gets slowed. Broken Blade goes in with an arm only onto Ona. Zeus is TP'd in behind, and he dives onto Hansama immediately. And Hansama has a stopwatch, but he doesn't have much life left afterwards. He manages to get away with a killer instinct, but Mickey and Caps are only down. Ona face plants the wall this time. Broken Blade left it to his own devices, and T1 clean him up. The flash in from Zeus with a counter-strike. Mickey trying to dredge line his way out of this one, but Faker's on the chase, as is Carrier. And Mickey, those hooks are sending you to Davy Jones's locker. Faker will take it. T1 will take the fight.
Mickey is gone 6 feet under, but G2 cannot fathom how T1 have got in behind them so consistently. It was a delay played on the TP. It's a delay take on Mickey because 50 seconds until Dragon will deny a lot of control to G2. But T1, again, these great teleport flanks for Zeus.
To go get Caps, they do chase down Hansama, and the Dragon's Soul is theirs to set up. Wait, Zeus has hiding once again. Look at him.
You can see Mickey's only just getting up towards where the red buff is. The paranoia comes out. It's Guma that secures the Drake. Now looking up towards the top side, Zeus caught out with the paranoia, gets the counter-strike, but there's the fear as well. The killer instinct coming in from Hansama as they look to catch out Zeus. The rest of T1 trying to come back to defend their top laner, but Zeus will be down before they can get there. G2 find one. On the doors of the Nexus now is T1 trying to defend.
Shockwave is still up and available for Caps. You have to be so careful as T1 as you try to defend this. How much do G2 want to try and take super minions on the top side as well?
It's so big. 3 inhibitors here. You're gonna get. Well, can they get 3?
Top just respawned as they were taking the second one, so it looks like it's only going to be 2. All Ona needs to do is get into this pit, and he might be able to snipe this away. The curtain's open. An encore for Gumayushi. Ona gets into it! And he takes it! Ona will pay the ultimate price for his ability to steal the Baron. He keeps T1 in the game, and G2 just couldn't dot their I's and cross their T's. The tankiness the minions get from the Baron buff, they'll be spawning in a few seconds time for T1. There they are. They'll help them defend. Faker goes in. Death charge. Shockwave. There's 2 knocked up, but Zeus is already on the back line. The Gnar coming out from Broken Blade as well. Zeus is doing so much work. Caps down. Hansama running for his life. Faker charms up Broken Blade. Zeus is just ripping through G2. Faker survives on the backline. Yike trying to do everything he can. The paranoia will help him take out his enemy jungler. Hansama trying to survive here. Zeus has to call off the chase, but T1 once again hold on to the game. Zeus has his TP and he's going to match the supers pushing in the top side. G2 have control of the river right now. Solar Flare, Hansama only slowed. But Caps is the one they dive into and immediately assassinate him. Caps is swimming with the fishes and Hansama is going to join him. T1 immediately pounce and G2 don't know what hit him.
T1 are forever clutch and G2 are finding out about it in the worst possible way. Zeus chasing down Broken Blade as T1 turn towards the outer Yike. The last one was stolen. Can you find revenge?
A vision in the pit. Gumayuchi trying to keep him at bay. No paranoia for Yike, but does have the flash. Guma will take the blast cone. Yike, can you do it? We saw you steal one versus Hanwha Life. He puts the Dustbringer over the wall and immediately backs away. G2 have called, do not fight this fight, we can take the next.
And they use the blast cone to jump onto Caps' head. Even with these defensive items we keep pointing out for G2, the Guardian Angel and Sterix for Yike.
Their world title.
A minute left on this Elder Dragon as well means that 2 more waves that you have to try and hold off. But I don't even know if you get that. Team 1 can just start to look at Nexus turrets off this wave.
It's got to be something miraculous. You've got a GA on Gumayushi, you've got Faker with the Spirit Rush, the curtain's open. I don't think G2 is getting a second act. The dive onto the backline by Yike, but immediately he is low. Caps already assassinated on the back, and T1 are just ripping them to shreds. T1 absolutely melting G2 under their Nexus towers. History doesn't repeat itself, but it damn well rhymes. It's another Friday, it's another T1 win.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the Swiss stage of Worlds 2024. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.